And I've been in this motherfucker since 2003, right? Because that's when I got signed to Aftermath, 2003. If you ask anybody, anybody that really know me that's in this motherfucker industry, and go ask Dr. Dre, man. Like, sit Dr. Dre down and really ask that about who I am and my character and, like what he really feel about me at the end of the day as a man.
Too much 50 Cent, not enough West Coast rap. 50 Cent. JC. I said JC. You old ass. You old ass. I was
When have you ever heard an Eminem song in the club? I don't hear Eminem in the streets. I'm just a better rapper.
I can't get no loving in public. No affection. No holding hands, no kiss,
you always got him. You are giving me $10 million.
Let's go. Who's gonna give you $10 million?
Jayceon Taylor.
Also known as
The Game.
Let's go.
Is giving me $10 million.
It all started in 2015 with a reality TV show on VH1 called She's Got Game. The rapper The Game was the star. The show was like The Bachelor, where a group of women competed for his attention. But behind the scenes, something very real and serious happened. It would later cause huge problems for him. One of the contestants, a woman named Priscilla Rainey, wasn't just there for fame. While they were filming at a sports bar in Chicago, she said The Game acted inappropriately towards her. She accused him of touching her without her permission, lifting her skirt, and embarrassing her in front of everyone. This real-life incident led to a major lawsuit that threatened to ruin his career.
Let's clear that up now. I'm not screaming. He did not rape me. But what he did do is touch 3 times and told me shut the up before I eliminate you, and then pulled my up in front of a crowd of people in Chicago at a club with the lights on and people taking pictures. To the point that 3 cameramen walked off set and quit because they got daughters and wives at home, and they said he's a piece of...
After the show, everything changed. Priscilla Rainey didn't win the competition, but she started a real-life legal battle against The Game. In August 2015, she sued him. She said he assaulted her while they were filming the show. But then, The Game made a big mistake. He completely ignored the lawsuit. He didn't respond to the court papers and avoided anyone who tried to deliver them to him. One person even tried 41 times to give him the legal documents. Because The Game never responded, the judge ruled against him automatically. The court decided he had to pay Priscilla Rainey a huge amount of money, $7.13 million. Most people would have gone to court to fight the case, but The Game did nothing. His choice to ignore the problem ended up costing him millions.
If you could ask Nip himself, he would have told you, and he did tell you out his own mouth what, I contributed, to his career. Coming straight out of West Side, Cedar Block, Bompton, and Top Dog know what it is, Kendrick know what it is, Mustard know what it is, Ty Dolla $ign know what it is, Dr. Dre know what it is, Snoop know what it is.
Even after the court ordered him to pay $7 million, The Game didn't act like it was a real problem. Instead of handling the situation quietly, he went on Instagram. He posted angry videos where he insulted Rainey's appearance and called her names. He denied ever touching her and said she was a liar. But his social media posts didn't change anything. The judge had already made a decision. Priscilla Rainey was determined to get the money the court said she was owed. She started taking legal steps to collect the millions of dollars from him.
I want to be with my girl all day, every day.
I can't be with him 24/7. I'm sorry.
Sadida couldn't keep a promise if her life depended on it.
So what?
I can't get no loving in public. No affection. No holding hands, no kiss,
Priscilla Rainey was determined to collect the $7 million the court said The Game owed her. She started a deep investigation into his money. She looked into his companies and everything he owned. She even got permission from a judge to take money directly from his music label called LA Prolific. Around this time, The Game tried to sue the TV network, Viacom, that made the dating show. He blamed them for casting Rainey. But that lawsuit failed, and the court told him he had to pay the network's legal bills. This just made his money problems worse. By 2020, Rainey went after his music. The judge gave her the rights to all the money made by his label. This included every dollar from his new album, Born to Rap, which he had called his big retirement project. Rainey didn't just get a part of the money, she got all of it. Every payment from streaming, every check, it all had to be sent directly to her instead of to him. While this was happening, The game acted on social media like it wasn't a big deal. He said he was broke, and even joked about driving an inexpensive car. But Rainey kept pushing. She believed he was hiding his money to make it look like he had none. She investigated his manager, Wack 100, and even a weed business he was involved with. She thought he was moving his money and possessions into other people's names or into secret companies so she couldn't touch them. The situation became very intense. At one point, Rainey's lawyers even contacted his child's school trying to prove where he lived so they could find him with more legal papers. Every time he seemed to avoid her, she found a new way to continue her legal fight. By 2023, Rainey said she had only collected about $500,000 of the $7 million. Since it wasn't nearly enough, she kept going. Her lawyers accused him of hiding his assets like a chess game. They claimed he didn't own anything in his own name anymore, not his cars, not his companies, and not even his house. The court saw this as a trick to avoid paying. So, Rainey set her sights on his last major possession, his large house in Calabasas. The house was worth millions. She asked the court to seize the house and sell it to help pay off the debt he still owed. The game fought this, saying it was his home and that taking it would leave him with nothing. But Rainey's team argued the house was just another asset he was trying to hide. They said it had been given to his manager, Wack 100, as a gift with no money exchanged, which looked very suspicious to the judge. By mid-2025, the judge agreed with Rainey. They ordered that the Calabasas house be sold. This was a huge loss. It's very rare for a rapper to lose control of his music, his label, and his house all from one lawsuit. The most surprising part is that it all happened because he never showed up to court in the first place. By ignoring the lawsuit, he automatically lost. Meanwhile, his music career slowed down. He wasn't releasing big albums or going on major tours anymore. He became better known for his social media arguments and drama than for his music. His longtime manager, Wack 100, also got pulled into the legal battle. Rainey's lawyers accused him of helping the game hide assets. Wack 100 did interviews to try to explain the situation, but the details were confusing, and the court was not convinced. From a legal view, when you move your money and property to avoid paying a debt you owe, it's seen as a serious offense. Rainey had the law on her side, and she was not giving up. The whole story became a slow-motion collapse of the game's finances, all stemming from one decision to ignore a court case.
I lost the best thing that ever happened to me, but now I think I'm ready to find that special someone. And I'm gonna give her 100% of everything that I got.
Game is looking for love.
You're gonna step into my life and take this journey.
And he's bringing 10 lucky ladies along for the ride. She's Got Game. New series premieres Monday, August 10th at 9.
However, the official court documents told a different story. The court was watching everything he did. There were even rumors that when he worked with the famous rapper Kanye West in 2022, all the money he made from that project went straight to Priscilla Rainey. Because of the court's ruling, she had the legal right to take every single dollar he earned until the entire $7 million debt was paid off. This meant that any money from music streams, business deals, or sales related to his music label went directly to her. With this constant pressure, it became almost impossible for him to plan a real comeback to his music career. Every time he tried to make money, it was immediately taken away. As 2025 began, the legal battle became even more intense. After the court ordered his house to be sold and his music profits were sent to Rainey, he tried one last move. His lawyers argued that he was never officially told that the court was taking his house, even though the case had been in the news for nearly 10 years. In response, Rainey's legal team showed how hard they had worked to find him. They revealed that they had even contacted his children's high school to confirm where he lived, so they could deliver legal papers to him correctly. This shows how far Rainey was willing to go to collect the money. You would think that with all this pressure, the game would try to settle the matter. Instead, he continued to tell people he was broke. In interviews, he claimed that the cars and jewelry he used were just rented or borrowed. He acted as if he owned nothing. But Rainey did not believe him. She went back to court and accused him of hiding his money and ignoring the court's orders. She claimed he was moving his income from music and other deals through secret companies run by his manager, Wack 100, or other partners. It started to look less like a simple mistake and more like a detailed plan to hide his money from the court. The judge saw through this. Even with the money from his music being taken, the huge debt was still not paid. The $7 million he owed was like a dark cloud that followed him everywhere. By this point, the game had lost the trust of the legal system. Judges had called his actions unacceptable, and his requests for a new trial were denied. He could no longer pretend he didn't know what was happening. The only thing left for him to do was to delay the final outcome, but even that plan was failing. His public image, which was once based on being a proud rapper from the West Coast, had turned into a joke about someone who always avoids the law. He went from having famous arguments with other rappers to constantly avoiding court papers. This situation also made some of his past statements seem ironic. He had once said that Kanye West did more for him in 2 weeks than the famous producer Dr. Dre did in his whole career. But while Kanye might have given him some temporary gifts, it was Dr. Dre who helped launch his music career in the first place. And now, that very career was falling apart because of this lawsuit. Even his album, Born to Rap, which he said was his most important final project, became his biggest financial loss. Not only did the album not sell well, but every single dollar it did make was legally sent to Priscilla Rainey instead of to him.
It seems like the whole mess, the fight, is Priscilla's fault. And that ain't really sitting well with me.
You got some girls who
Want me to go home, of course.
want you to go home.
I can't believe everyone's making such a big deal about me cussing out Sierra. She deserved it.
Think about how it would feel to work extremely hard on an album that you call your final masterpiece. You do interviews and promotions to get people excited. But then, because of a court ruling, you never see a single dollar from it. All of the money goes to someone else. For the game, it wasn't just the money from that one album. Because Priscilla Rainey now had control of his music label, LA Prolific, she also had a claim on any future money connected to it. This included profits from new artists he might sign or from selling merchandise. The court said she had the right to take all of this income until the $7 million debt was paid. Since the game hadn't released a major hit album since 2015, he wasn't making large amounts of money quickly. This left him stuck. He couldn't move forward with his career. He was not growing as an artist. He was just dealing with lawsuits and losses. His main public activity became posting on Instagram, which seemed like an attempt to distract people from his real problems. This situation also affected how people in the music industry saw him. In the rap world, when an artist appears to be in serious financial trouble, others often stop working with them. The high level of respect the game once had in Los Angeles began to fade. For example, he was not invited to a major West Coast hip-hop concert called The Pop-Out, which was the biggest event of its kind in years. This was a clear sign that his status had changed. He was once considered a leader of West Coast rap, but the new generation of artists didn't seem to want him around. Fans online debated the reasons. Was it because of a lawsuit, his association with Kanye West, or his past behavior? Whatever the reason, it was clear that he was no longer an important figure. His reputation was damaged by his constant avoidance of a court and his strange public actions. He became more famous for controversy than for his music. In the entertainment business, image is everything. Once people see you as desperate, broke, and avoiding your responsibilities, it is very difficult to earn back their respect. While most artists in this situation would stay quiet or try to change their image, the game did the opposite. He kept trying to be in the spotlight, but not in a helpful way. Instead of releasing new music regularly, he focused on doing shocking things. He gave wild interviews, wrote long social media posts, and was seen with celebrities like Kanye West. It seemed like all this was meant to hide the real story. He was experiencing one of the most public financial collapses in recent rap history. After Rainey took control of his label, a different artist might have started a new company quietly. But the game did not make those smart business moves. He continued to talk as if he were still wealthy, even though the court records showed he was not. His fans noticed this, too. His music was not streamed as much, and his merchandise did not sell. The only time people talked about him was when there was a new update in his legal case. He went from being a rap star to being an example of what can go wrong. The entire music industry was watching this happen. Record labels and business managers became cautious about working with him. Why would they sign a contract with someone whose money could be taken by the court at any moment? Even collaborating with him on a song became a risk. If Rainey had a legal right to everything he earned, Then a payment for a guest verse would likely end up in her hands, not the other artists. This made it very difficult for him to rebuild his career.
What about you, Firestarter? You good?
I'm good. No fire started today.
So it sounds to me like they're trying to trash me in front of Jason to make me look like a fire starter. You know what? Let's go.
This kind of serious trouble doesn't just hurt a career, it also makes other people want to stay away. No one in the music business wants to work with someone who is constantly dealing with major lawsuits. That is what the game had become. He was a rapper who could not release a song without the possibility that a court would take all the money it made. Even his fans began to wonder what was happening. How does an artist go from selling millions of albums and going on big tours to supposedly renting cars and hiding from court papers? How does someone with so much history in music let his career fall apart so publicly? The answer was not just one mistake. It was a series of bad choices that led to more problems. First, he ignored the lawsuit. Then, he made fun of Priscilla Rainey online. After that, he avoided court orders and tried to hide his money and property. This was a perfect recipe for disaster. It is important to remember that this all happened out in the open. Rainey was very public about her fight. She gave interviews to major radio stations and websites. She told the world that the dating show was fake, that she was already in a relationship when she joined, and that the producers created fake drama for ratings. This made her seem more believable and made the game look like someone who had lost control of his own life. At a certain point, it stopped being about who was right or wrong. It became about who was winning the legal battle. And Rainey was winning by a very large margin. She did not just take him to court. She was always several steps ahead of him. While the game was posting on social media and showing off expensive things that he may not have actually owned, Rainey was winning in court, taking his property, and watching his every move. It was like a chess master playing against someone who did not know the rules of the game. His manager, Wack 100, was also pulled deep into the mess. Court papers accused him of helping to move and hide the game's money. Whether this was true or not, it added more confusion and drama to the situation. Wack 100 would sometimes try to explain what was happening in interviews, but each explanation just brought more attention to the problems. Through all of this, Rainey did not seem to care about public opinion. She was focused on collecting the $7.1 million. She kept filing legal motions, sending out orders, and collecting money. It was not really about revenge anymore. It was about proving a point. If you mess up in court, you have to pay. The strangest part is that the game continued to act like he had plenty of time to fix things. Even when the court ordered his house to be sold, and even after he lost his music label, he kept trying to fight. He filed more papers with the court, claiming he never received the proper notices. But the judges were not fooled. They felt he had 10 years to respond, and that his new excuses were not believable. During all this legal trouble, his new music did not get any attention. There was no excitement or promotion around it. His fans had moved on to other artists. Even the websites that used to write about him only mentioned his name when a new court document was released. He had gone from an important voice in West Coast rap to a warning story about what happens when you are too proud to deal with your problems. Meanwhile, Priscilla Rainey kept winning. Every time the game delayed or ignored a court order, she found a way to turn it into another victory for her side. Finally, in May of 2025, the biggest consequence arrived. The court officially gave the order for his house in Calabasas to be sold. The money from the sale would go to Rainey. This was no longer a threat, it was really happening. But even selling his house would not be enough to pay off the full debt. The house was worth about $3.2 million, but he still owed nearly $4 million after the sale. With his music label gone, his song profits being sent to Rainey, and most of his other property supposedly in other people's names, he had no clear way to pay the rest of the money. It was like watching someone stuck in deep mud, struggling but only sinking deeper. No matter what he tried, the legal system had him trapped. Every dollar he earned was marked for Rainey. Every attempt to restart his career was blocked by the lawsuit. Even with the house gone, the trouble was not over. Rainey's lawyers kept investigating. They accused him of still moving money through secret companies and hiding behind his manager. They were not going to stop until they collected every last cent. They even sent orders to music companies and banks to see if he had other sources of income they did not know about. This was not about taking everything from him. It was about making him follow a court ruling that he had ignored for almost 10 years. And the most tragic part is that this ruling might not even exist if he had simply gone to court in the beginning and defended himself. He did not lose because his case was weak. He lost because he showed no respect for the legal process. He made fun of it, avoided it, and acted like it could not affect him. But it did. And when it finally caught up to him, it took his music label, his album money, his house, and possibly his entire future as an artist. This story is not really about whether the game is innocent or guilty. That is for people to decide for themselves. The important thing is the lesson. When you're faced with a serious legal case, you have to respond. You have to show up. You cannot make fun of the person suing you on social media and expect the court to ignore it. And you definitely cannot try to hide your money, because that only makes the judge angrier and turns a bad situation into a complete financial disaster. The game did not just lose a lawsuit, he lost control. He lost the kind of control you need to survive in the music industry, which can be very ruthless. He had a chance to leave a great legacy with his music, but instead of being remembered for his albums, he is now remembered for his court cases. And people in the music world remember both. So now, in 2025, people are not talking about the game because of a new song or a tour. They are talking about him because the legal system took everything he had. People are watching to see what happens next. Can he make a comeback? Can he rebuild his career? Or will this legal battle be the thing that defines the end of his time in hip-hop? He is still a talented rapper, but without owning his music, without any major property, and without the freedom to manage his own money, he is trapped. This is one of the most dramatic downfalls ever seen in rap music. He went from being in top 10 music conversations to being in court documents. He went from selling out shows to having his house taken away. And the saddest part is that it did not have to be this way. If he had just gone to court one time, given one legal response, or handled the situation honestly from the start, the whole story could have been different. But he chose to handle it the wrong way, and now he has to live with the consequences. Whether he can ever recover is a question that only time will answer.